This screencast will show you some quick ways to modify your course site and organize it for better access for your students and yourself. So the first thing to do is to go up to the upper right corner here and make sure that the edit mode is turned on. It will have this green button if it is turned on. And what that does is it allows me to edit and add content in the Blackboard site. So the first place I'd like to start with a tip is here in the navigation menu. The navigation menu has its own edit menu, and that's here with this plus sign. So for example, if I wanted to add a new content area where I put all the assignments for the course, I click on Content Area and add my title and submit. Anytime I add something new in Blackboard, it drops to the bottom. I can move this if I need to a different location, and it's automatically closed until I say I want it to be open. I can go ahead and add assignments here, and then when I'm ready, I click on this little down arrow and I can show the link. The other thing I can do is I can add things like these subheaders and dividers to organize my content. So for example, perhaps I want a subheader about assignments, and I like to use all caps for my subheaders. And so perhaps I move the subheader here, and then I add the assignment tab that I just created. Now let's say I'm thinking about that now, and I think, oh, I want to change that name. I can rename it, and I could maybe call it homework. And that's how you can add items to your menu. I can also add dividers if I want to put some space between, and here's my divider right down here, and I can put some space between items on my menu. And that can help you organize content for students. So you might have a Getting Started section, a classroom section, a resources section. Those are just some examples. The other thing I can do in here is content is the main area of adding like a thematic area or a weekly unit, or as I did before, assignment links. But the other thing I can add here is I can add a web link that goes directly to a web page. I could add a course link that takes the student directly into a piece of the course. Or I could add a tool link, and these are all the tools in Blackboard that a student can go directly to. So for example, if I want to find the tools, I click on this menu, and here are all the Blackboard tools available to me. So perhaps I want to add a discussion board. So I go down here and click on discussion board, and then I give it my title here. So I might say discussion forum or discussion board. If I want to make it available right away, I can click available here. Again, see how that's dropped to the bottom, but I can move it up. So maybe now I'm going to add another subheader called In the Classroom. And I'm going to organize this so that everything that students need to do about this class is under this header. So I'm going to look at this topic and say, oh, I want that down here. Now this discussion tool that I added, when students click on it, it will take them right to the discussion board. And then I can add forums here using the Create Forum tool. In my new assignment area here that I created, I can also add content here. So I can create an item that might give them instructions. I could link them to a file that gives them instructions. I could also create an item that contains also a link. I can also do a web link or a video link. Let's try adding an item. So maybe I'm going to have them do I want them to answer some questions, be ready to answer questions about Chapter 1. And then I would list their questions here. I can even use the bulleting tool here that I can do questions 1, 2, and 3. So perhaps I want them to really think about these questions, and then here under the assessment tabs, I might want to add an assessment link that is their question responses. And I put in any instructions here. There might be a file I'd like to attach that has more detailed instructions, so I can add that here. I can add a due date here in this section. So I scroll down, I can add points, I can build in a rubric, I select my submission. I often do unlimited attempts because sometimes something might interfere with the Blackboard submission, and you don't want to have students frustrated that they couldn't get their assignment in. And maybe that's, I need to add some points. Blackboard will remind you if you forget specific fields that are required. So here I might have under homework the questions that I want them to answer. Perhaps these are questions you want them to prepare for class, and these are responses you want them to submit to you directly. So you can find a lot of options in the Build Content area for adding content into your Blackboard course. You can find assessment information with tests, surveys, assignments here. Under Tools, you can also add these specific Blackboard tools here: discussion board, blogs, journals, wikis. This is provides a direct link for the student into the tool. For those of you who have used VoiceThread, you can add the VoiceThread here. So those are some main areas of content that you can add and open in your course, and some ways that you can update your navigation menu so that it is organized for you. The final thing to do is double check that your course site is open. Up here there's a lock icon. If it is open, that means the course is available to students. So if it is easy when you're editing to close the course accidentally, so always make sure your course is unlocked or open for students. Thanks and good luck.